Hello, everybody. It's Daniel speaking, an English teacher, and today we're having our next emotional English episode where we learn an English language effortlessly, emotionally, fulfilled with energy, and of course, how positively. So if you see my voice is better, so I'm getting better, and it means that we can continue to study English pretty positively, with full of energy, of course, right? It's really important. Today, I've prepared another mini story for you from the website English Created Resources, and another great moral, which is coming up. So the story, The Fox and the Grapes. The rules are simple. I read the mini story first, then I kind of splitting the mini story into three pieces, and we work with each piece pretty effectively by questioning. Then we kind of revising all new vocabulary, and you're free to go. Okay, so let's begin. The Fox and the Grapes. Beautiful mini story with a nice moral. One afternoon, a fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a lofty branch. "Just the thing to quench my thirst," said the fox. Taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and just missed the hanging grapes. Again, the fox took a few paces back and tried to reach them, but still failed. Finally, giving up, the fox turned up his nose and said, "They're probably sour anyway." Then he walked away. So the moral, it's easy to despise what you cannot have. It's easy to despise what you cannot have. Okay, so this is the full mini story. Now let's start with the first part. One afternoon, a fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a lofty branch. "Just the thing to quench my thirst," said the fox. Okay, so this is the first part. Now I'll try to ask you the question, okay, or different questions. So who was walking through the forest? It was an elephant, a giraffe, or a fox? Obviously, it was a fox, red fox. It's interesting that most Americans, they call red something orange. And this is interesting because red color is different, like bloody color, the color of blood. It's almost red, right? And when you see a fox, it's more orange, right? But there are some brown spots on the fox, so probably that's why they call it red. A fox was walking through the forest, right? So where was the fox walking? Okay, the fox was walking in the forest, right? But what is the forest? What is the forest? Forest, it's a big place where you can have a lot of trees, right? And you have nice and fresh air. So it's a great place for camping, right? Forest. There are a lot of wild animal, right, in the forest. A lot of wild animals there. And finally, fox spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a lofty branch. So what do you think? The fox found a bunch of grapes hanging from a lofty branch, or haven't found it? Yep. So spotted means you caught a bunch of grapes. You see it. You see the picture with grapes hanging from a lofty branch. It means that you caught it. You spotted it with your eyes, okay? You can spot something with your eyes, and it's very simple. You're just looking at the object, and you see it. You see the object. So the fox spotted a bunch of grapes, right? And the grapes kind of were hanging from a lofty branch, right? So what kind of branch was there? Lofty branch, right? But what does it mean? Lofty branch, right? It means that it's pretty high, all right? You have a low branch or high branch, right? Lofty branch. So you cannot just touch the branch easily with your hand. It's lofty, right? And for the fox, right? For the fox, this branch was pretty lofty, okay? Lofty branch, pretty high branch. You cannot just touch it, okay? So I'll read it again. A fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a lofty branch. Just think to quench my thirst, said the fox. Very good phrase. And I like this new vocab here. Quench my thirst, right? You know, when you want to drink water, right? You saying like, oh man, I'm thirsty, right? You're describing your feelings. But when you say something about the noun, right? So the word thirst describes your, it's your state, right? The state, you have a thirst, right? And you want to kill this thirst. So if you want to kill this thirst, is the better way to use it, the word quench, right? Quench my thirst. It means deactivate the thirsty feeling, okay? So that's the point. So, and the fox said, just the thing to quench my thirst. So what can quench the fox thirst? Okay. Spotted grapes hanging from the lofty branch, right? So the grapes, it's a very good fruit, right? Or it's berries or fruit. I have no idea actually. So, but anyway, grapes, they're full of juice, right? Let's call it a fruit, right? So full of juice, and that kind of juice from the grapes hanging from the lofty branch can quench the fox thirst, right? Fox's thirst. That's very important. Okay, so that's the first mini story, the first part of the mini story, right? Next, we have part number 2. Let's work with it. Taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and just missed the hanging grapes. Again, the fox took a few paces back and tried to reach them, but still failed. So, what this part is about? Classically, it's about the tries, right? The fox is trying to catch and to get the grapes from a lofty branch. I'm saying again, the branch is very high, right? And the fox can't just touch it. You need a jump, a very high jump, right? Pretty powerful jump. But it doesn't work for a fox, you see? So taking a few steps back, so the fox is kind of going back, right? Taking a few steps back, and then the fox jumped, right? The fox jumping and missing the hanging grapes, okay? So the fox can't touch the grapes. And again, the fox, the second try, right? The fox took a few paces back, right? And tried to reach them again. It was successful, or the fox had a failure. Man. Of course it was a failure, right? The fox still failed. Only 2 tries, and all these trials were successful. No. So both tries failed, okay? And finally, the third part of our mini story, finally giving up, the fox turned up his nose and said, "They're probably sour anyway." And then he walked away. By the way, the gender of the fox here is the male fox, right? He is a fox. But what do you think about the foxes, guys? Foxes are very, very silly, or they're very tricky, and they're very sly. Do you know the word sly? Sly as a fox, the girls, they're very sly, sly as a fox, because it's their personality. They're tricky. They're tricking us guys, right? With makeup, with, filters on Instagram and everything else, right? So they're very sly, and sly means very smart in a specific manner, right? And it means that you know how to trick someone because you have enough knowledge and you're sly as a fox, right? Okay, so finally, giving up, the fox turned up his nose and said something. But first of all, do you know what does it mean, give up? Giving up, right? The fox giving up. Yeah, it means you saying, okay, that you failed, okay? You give up. And my recommendation to you guys, please never give up. When you learn English, right? Let's imagine you learn English and you do it. Let's say you have been learning English for 3 years and you still have not good results as you expected, right? Don't worry about it. Just continue your growth. Don't give up. Continue your growth. Use a Kaizen method. Kaizen means Japanese system, which gives you the chance to grow step by step, right? Little by little, minute by minute, right? So 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day. It doesn't matter. It depends on your availability, right? So, but never give up. Continue your growth, okay? So finally giving up, the fox turned up his nose, right? And said, it means that the fox is kind of pronouncing and saying it maybe sadly, I guess, right? And the fox saying, they're probably sour anyway, right? So the fox is moving the nose, right? And saying, these grapes, probably sour anyway. So it's a failure, right? Losers are saying that, right? Losers say that all the times. Why? Because they're not the winners, right? If you're not the winner, you can make your target or goal let's say you can color it in the negative aspect, right? So, and this is the loser job. The loser or losers are kind of trying to make it worse, right? Because when something is bad, why do you want it, right? Why do you want it? So, and the fox realized that, maybe this type of grape is kind of sour anyway, right? But it's not the reason. That's not the fix for the fox. Because first of all, what was the problem with the fox? Do you remember? Yeah. So the fox was thirsty, right? Thirsty. So fox planned to quench his thirst, right? And it doesn't matter. Is it sour or sweet, right? The goal must be done, right? Should be done in a good way. But the fox ignoring it. And this is kind of sad here, right? So the fox saying, they're probably sour anyway. By the way, do you know what the sour means? Sour, it's the opposite of sweet. What is sour? Lemon, lime, all different, let's say grapefruit or just orange. Probably sour, right? You have a little sour there anywhere. And fox kind of thinking about the taste, right? But the goal was to quench the thirst, right? And this is a different goal, right? You're not just enjoying the grapes. You want to quench your thirst. You don't want to be thirsty. It's a complete different story. Okay. So, and then fox walked away. He walked away, right? So that's the end of mini story, right? Very nice and easy mini story. And then we have like a little moral here, right? The moral is saying it's easy to despise, right? To despise what you cannot have, right? What does it mean? it means that nothing comes easy without a hard work. It's a little bit idiomatic here. But what does it mean, despise, right? It's better to find kind of synonyms for this word, right? When you're despising, you're kind of hating it, okay? So it's your position for, when you hate, I think the hate is fine. When you deplode, I think, or dislike something, right? That's the thing, right? Deplore, probably, right? Deplore, it's the correct word here. Yeah, I think deplore is fine. That's the point, right? When you hate, dislike, you're kind of despising this, right? And to be honest, if somebody is good, it's not very good to despise them, okay? It's better to speak with them, with successful people, right? It's better to ask the value or the successful trick, right? What they're using to achieve something. But please, guys, do not despise other people, okay? Because it's very easy to do. It's very easy to despise, but does it work? Does it change your life? No, it's not. I'm so sorry. It's not. It doesn't work with your own life. So never despise others, okay? Because you need to work hard. You need to work on your goals and achieve them, right? That's what you really need. Nothing comes easy to you without a hard work. Just memorize this, okay? Let's imagine that the grapes hanging from a lofty branch, it's our English proficiency, right? It's the effortless conversation in English. And for you, it's hard, right, to study. It's hard to learn. It's hard to open the book again and learn new vocabulary. But you know what? While you're doing it, you're working hard. And nothing, I'm saying again, nothing comes easy, all right? If you're a karate fighter, if you're a runner, if you are a boxer, it's not easy to have a results, right? To achieve something. You need to work hard for it. That's my point. And that's the moral of our today's story. I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation today. It was not so long, but I guess it's pretty valuable for you guys. And I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you for listening. Visit my website, www.danilabondarenko.ru. Also, I have the vk.com account, Bondarison. Then I have an Instagram account, Bondarison. And check out my videos on TikTok, right? Bondarison English. You all guys are welcome, and thank you for listening. See you next week, guys, and enjoy your process of learning. See you later.